In this video, we will be looking at how to create this funnel chart. So a funnel chart looks like this, where we have the largest value at the top and we end up with the smallest value at the bottom. You could also have the reverse of this, where the largest value would be at the bottom and the smallest at the top, in which case we would call this a pyramid chart. Here are real life examples of where a funnel chart could be used. First example is for an email campaign. This is a famous sales example where we start with leads and then end up with sales. This is an example from human resources. So on a blank slide, click on insert, click on chart, locate funnel at the bottom, click OK. This is our default funnel chart. So it's pretty straightforward to understand. We have the chart title at the top and then these values that go from 5,000 to 250, and our categories are in the first column. If you change the values in the chart, they are reflected directly in our chart here. So let's close the data sheet. Let's see what all options we get with this default funnel chart. First, I'm going to double click on my data labels. On the right hand side, we get three options. Our values are checked by default. Checking the category names enables category names. If you want to show series name, which is at the top of our data labels column. So if I go back to data sheet, whatever text you put in this cell is shown here. So if I had sales here, you would see sales here. It's not that useful in this chart, so I'm just going to uncheck that option under labels option. One thing you would notice is the bottom value 500 is no longer shown. That's because this chart chooses not to show it if it's too small and the labels can't fit. So this is a key limitation of this chart. Let's double click on the bars themselves. Go to the series options by clicking on this last button here. Under series options, we just get one option called gap width. So if I increase my gap width, our bars become slimmer. We can increase our gap width all the way up to 500%. Let's put this back to 0. Additionally, we have the standard formatting options like shape fill and borders and some 3D options like these. But that's the extent of all the customization you can make with a funnel chart. You can add another series to this chart. However, it's kind of pointless because you won't be able to see that. So I'll show you as an example. While the chart is selected, under chart design, click on select data. Here on the left hand side of this select data source dialog box, you will notice we only have one series, so we can add one more if we wanted to. So click on add. So my series name is going to be in C1. So I'm clicking on C1 cell while my cursor is in this first box called series name. Then click on series values text box, then drag select these four cells where our series 2 values would be. Click OK. Let's label these. I'm just going to call this something for demo purpose. I don't know what this is going to be yet. So let's add some values here. Okay, so now we have two series. However, there is no way to see the second series because it's behind this chart, and the only way you can see that is if we disable our first series or we remove the values for first series. Let's say in the data sheet I were to hide the column for sales, you will see our second series now appears. We can enable our data labels and you'll see it's right here. But the moment I bring back my series 1 by unhiding that column, our series 2 disappears. So I don't know what's the point of series is in this chart format. It's not like if I were to, let's say, next to 500, if I made this value 1000, the bar should appear behind it because 1000 is greater than this 500 value here, so the bar should have ideally appeared in this empty space here, but even that doesn't happen. So I don't see the point of multiple series in this chart. One more key limitation is if I were to create some random shape like this one, and if I were to paste it on top of these bars, nothing happens. If I were to do the same action with a standard bar chart or a stack bar chart, so I would be able to replace these shapes with the shape I want to by simply pasting those shapes on top of these. I don't get that option here. So I don't like this default funnel chart because of the restrictions we have. Instead, what I do is I create an alternate form of this funnel chart. It looks like this, which is very similar to our funnel chart. However, we get a lot more controls, especially at the bottom. You will see even if your values are small, you can still get the data label. So if I change this 500 to 250, I can still see my data label here. I can move around all my data labels anywhere on the slide, unlike the default funnel chart. Plus, there are a few more things we can do with this chart, which I will show you in the next video, because I didn't want to combine this second type of chart with the base funnel chart. So that's it for this video. Please stay tuned for the second video where I will show you this alternate form of funnel chart. So see you next time.